Hello everyone, my name is Annie. Today I'm going to talk about small screen, big world. The goal of my gap plan is to create a virtual platform in order to connect the whole world. As we all know that nowadays students and adults are eager to go around, whether to go abroad, whether to work or to study. However, because of their rigid time schedule or because of lack of finance, they are unable to explore the outside world in person. Fortunately, online education has provided them a platform in order to learn foreign culture and communicate with others. And online education is a course of study using computer systems, for example, emails or video conference. And examples include, for example, the cultural project provided by MIT, the virtual high school, as well as Bozeman Science. We also have the Eurocentric language learning worldwide. And as online education has become so popular nowadays, researchers are finding out the best framework for communication for e-learning. And they have found out that high level of structure and dialogue gives less distant feeling between educators and learners, while low level of structure and dialogue requires more autonomy or independence from the learners. And there are also several benefits for online education. First, as we all know that it overcomes temporal and geographical barriers, and it also improves students' perception of learning motivation as well as content mastery. As students find out that this might be a novel idea and is different from traditional classroom, so they might be interested in learning. And most importantly, it increases intellectual and social interaction between educators and learners, and also between learners and learners, as students are able to make friends with students from other parts of the world. And as online education has expanded globally, the term cultural literacy emerged. That is, the public should be familiar with foreign culture, and the more public are familiar with foreign culture, the less likely cultural misunderstanding will occur. So personally, as a Chinese student studying in Canada, I find out that learning English is really important in order to understand lectures, communicate with others, and also to get involved in extracurricular activities. And most importantly, to understand local culture, because language is the base. So, as the first one in my family to go abroad and study, my relatives are eager to know my experience in Canada, and I am also interested in sharing with them. So, however, we find out we have a problem. Because of the time difference, we cannot meet at whatever time we want. So I thought about creating a website so that I can upload all my information online, and they have access to this information at any time. So in 2013, I initiated my global action plan. I created a website called Blurt Out, and as you have seen it. So on my website, enter the episode. I basically have all the listening practice, including some of the movie clips, and enter topics. We talk about food, books, and some of the movies as well. And here are some statistics of my website. At first, we start with 15 people, and they're mostly my parents, my friends, including my cousins. But I don't know, I didn't expect it could become so popular. And nowadays, we have 52 students from different provinces in China, and the average page will increase from 30 to 170, while the average unique visitors increases from 16 to 80 per day. And it quite surprised me, and I think the word of mouth is a quite good marketing strategy. As my website has become popular, I'm thinking about expanding my website so I could help more people in order to join and to learn foreign culture and probably to practice speaking foreign languages. So I have separated my gap plan into 3 stages. The first stage, in which I'm doing right now, I'm providing people from my native country, China, opportunities to learn foreign culture and also to experience the learning environment, daily life in North America, as well as practicing speaking English. And in the second stage, I'm going to bring more people from different countries into our group. And in the third and final stage, I will incorporate academic videos into my website, and these videos have subtitles in different languages, and I will explain later why this stage is crucial. And in the first stage, I have already created a website, and we have voice chat every Saturday. What I'm going to do is I will separate my group members into different groups. What I find this point is important because right now we have students from elementary school to adults who are in their 40s, so it is hard to find a common interest. Therefore, I need to separate these groups according to their age level and interest and also time schedule so that we can find a common interest and it is easier for them to communicate with each other. Because I have different groups, I'm going to collaborate with native speakers or my friends who are also bilingual in order to help me guide this group chat. Risk may also happen in this stage, although it hasn't happened to me yet, but I just list them out so I can prevent them. The first is improper behaviors. Members in this group may use bad languages online, so they may also stay off topics talking about something that is unrelated to language learning or cultural learning. In that case, supervision is needed. I talk to every group members individually and privately before they join the group chat so that I can make sure that they are responsible and they're eager to learn new information. In the same time, students who are under age 18, I require them to have their parents to accompany them when they join our group chat, so we have the parent supervision. Another risk is privacy intervention. When they are sharing their personal information, others might spread out their stories, so pseudonyms are used, and the voice chat instead of video conference are used so that their face won't be seen. And in the same time, I will make sure that there is no recording. Plagiarism is a major risk. When I am using videos downloaded from YouTube and also I'm citing articles from the website, I will make sure that this information are properly cited. And I will also make sure that web contents in my website are not plagiarized by others. The final risk is members in our group are able to chat individually or privately with another member, and the risk involved in their private chatting are beyond our control. So under the terms of agreement, members are notified beforehand that this risk is beyond our control. And in the second stage, I'm going to collaborate with people from other countries. So what I'm going to do is people who are at least bilingual will be assigned as leaders of a group, and I will interview them. And in the same time, leaders need to have proof of fluency in their foreign languages. For example, we have TOEFL for students who have English as their second language. In the same time, what I'm going to do is I will pair up students from one country with a student from another country. For example, pairing up a student from Canada to a student from Mexico so they can learn language from each other and also share information. So the most important thing happening in this stage is I will create a reward system. What the reward system is going to be is that students who are asking questions or students who are answering questions posted by others will be rewarded points, and they can spend these points in order to ask questions or attend lectures, which is organized by a leader who is bilingual, and there are usually 15 to 20 students in a certain lecture, which is like a language course. They also need to spend these points in order to converse with their assigned partners. And so that is how the reward system will work. And in the same time, I'm thinking about having intercultural exchange program for my group members by pairing up with existing exchange program in McGill. But some of the security issues involved in that program are beyond our control, and they need to negotiate with the schools, travel agencies, as well as the insurance company. And in the last stage, what I'm thinking is the most important stage is that I will incorporate academic videos into my website. So what I'm going to do is, this stage is crucial as it can help homeschool students to learn by themselves. It can also help students who are studying abroad, because in the beginning stage, students who are studying abroad have difficulties understanding lectures. Maybe because they do not grow up here, so sometimes they do not understand the vocabularies especially used in academic studies. And if we have videos that have subtitles in different languages, then that might help them to understand lectures. I will group lectures that are on the same topic but taught in different languages together, so that students and professors can compare different teaching styles in different parts of the world, and they can also, and it will help them to understand the lectures. In the same time, I'm going to classify videos by their subject, education level, whether it is for primary school students, high school students, or university students, and also according to their form, whether it is an academic video or it is a video that is for standardized test preparation. Videos has to be approved by leaders in order before uploading, so that we can make sure that information is helpful for learners. In the same time, we are also going to use the reward system in which the video contributors and subtitle translators are rewarded, and proof of teaching experience and education level are needed for video contributors as well as professors. And the video contributors have to answer up to 5 questions, and if some of the learners ask more than 5 questions, then the video contributors will be rewarded by giving them points. In this way, in the third stage, students are able to make friends with students from other countries. They can also ask professors and video contributors questions. So we have a Q&A section. Most importantly, they can experience real lectures taught in different parts of the world. And risk can also happen in this stage. The first thing is plagiarism. And video contributors are notified beforehand that they are responsible for their own videos, and they need to make sure that they do not plagiarize others, or their videos are not plagiarized by others. And in the same time, supervision is needed so that we can make sure that the lectures are in good quality, and also we can make sure that they have a safe and friendly online talking environment. Implied comments and critiques are immediately deleted in the discussion thread or blogs, and some punishment will be given to some of the critiques makers. So there will be a deduction of points, and in the same time, they will be warned. If they are warned more than 3 times, then they are inhibited from making future comments. In the same times, learners have the opportunity to have private meeting with video contributors or other professors, and risks happen during that stage are beyond our control, so they are notified under the terms of agreement. So here is my 5-year plan. I'm going to study biomedical science at McGill University. So I'm going to continue working with my existing group members. What I'm going to do is I will separate these group members according to their age, interest, and time schedule. And then I will work with volunteers who are also interested in joining our group and probably help me to edit web content. And in the second year, besides continue studying, I'm going to start the second stage of my global action plan. That is, I will recruit volunteers from different parts of the world. I'm going to interview these volunteers, and I'm going to pair up group members as well as organizing lectures. And most importantly, I will create this reward system. In the third year, I will be finishing or graduating at McGill University because I'm doing a 3-year degree program. And I'm going to continue working on the second stage of my GAP plan. And I will organize meetings for leaders to meet so they can discuss some of the difficulties they have met throughout the year, and possibly to find out some strategies in order to overcome these difficulties. And maybe I will think about pairing up with existing programs in McGill to give my members opportunities to go on exchange. And in the fourth year, hopefully I can start my first year in medical school, and I need to find sponsors for my website. In the same time, I'm starting the third stage of my global action plan. That is, I need to find volunteers to post lectures online, and also I need to reward some of the video contributors and also subtitle translators when they sometimes the video translator, so I need to reward them. And in my fifth year, I will start my second year in medical school, and I will continue working on the third stage of my gap plan, and I will classify my videos according to their form, education level, as well as subjects. So I also need to find volunteers to help me organize some of the blogs and the discussion thread posted by the professors and students. So in conclusion, I hope after the 5 years of concerted effort between my group leaders and my group members, I am able to, my website in this shrinking world is able to connect people from all over the world together. And that is, I can accomplish the goal of my gap plan, in which I can see the big world through this small screen. Thank you. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yes. Do you want me to go first? You go first.
Hi, Annie. Thanks. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Just wonder if you have any thoughts on how specifically you might be able to recruit the volunteers. Seems like a big part of your 5-year plan is to get lots of people on board and help you drive this website. How do you think you'd be able to recruit these volunteers?
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is there are organizations at McGill for different groups of people. For example, there are organizations for Chinese students or Spanish, and I'm going to work with them because students there are most likely bilingual. They need to learn English in order to study at McGill. So I can collaborate with them. And another way I can recruit volunteers is using some of the advertisement online, so I can attract the students who are interested in joining us.
Great.
Thank you very much for that presentation.
Thank you.
Something else, actually, on the note of sort of building this network that you mentioned with respect to volunteers and answering Mr. Telling's question. At the start of your 4th year in the 5-year plan, you talked a bit about sponsors and needing to find sponsors. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit more about who you plan to sort of target for sponsors. In other words, who are your ideal candidates to sponsor this plan?
And some of the sponsors maybe include some of the website or organizations who are already working on this project. For example, we have the cultural project provided by MIT. If they are interested, but we need to expand it so it might be large enough to attract them, so they can be one of our sponsors. And also, I can work with organizations at McGill, so they can also be sponsors of my website. In the same time, I'm also thinking about maybe having some donations. For example, we can, because this website is totally free, and which is also I'm creating this reward system in order to give them a sense of responsibility that they need to serve back to the society. So they need to, in order for them to continue learning, they have to contribute because this website is totally free. So since this website is free, sometimes we can sell some products, but they are for donating to students who are in poor areas, like sometimes in different parts of the world. So that's how we can also find sponsors. For example, working with Kiva, who is interested in doing this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
If I ask one quick question, how many hours per week do you spend on your website and your chats?
Excluding my chat, then that's 3.5 hours. Including my chat, then plus 1.5 hours. So we have chat about 1.5 hours.
So about 5 hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I need to find information, and sometimes it's hard to find the appropriate information for a group of people because they are all at different levels, and if it is too hard, then we will lose our audience. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you've found so far, Anni, in creating this website and working with this website? What are some of the things that you think are difficult, and how do you plan to address those moving forward?
One of the difficulties I found is that, as I said before, it is hard to find topics in which a group of students are interested in, and sometimes if it is too hard, then we will lose the audience and they may not come up again, so they will not show up again, and I have this problem. So I need to talk with them privately to ask if it is hard or if it is easy for them. And sometimes because when we are learning a second language, it's hard for us to speak, so sometimes they just stay there and listen, and I don't know if they're interested in or if they're just distracted by something or they're just doing something else. So I have to ask them in their native language. For example, for Chinese students, I have to ask them in Chinese privately after our chat if they are interested in this chat, and do you have any suggestion or feedbacks. And sometimes they just find out that it is too hard for them, and they are struggled by, they don't know where to start learning a new language. So we have a lot of private meetings, so it's like a one-on-one help. Yeah, so that is how I overcome some of the challenges. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Annie, for a wonderful
Thank you.
presentation. And we want to thank everybody. So first, let's give Annie a round of applause.